You are looking down at one of the most luxurious and audacious locations on the entire planet. A true paradise for the elite. Home to mega mansions as expensive as the GDP of a small country. Docks packed with million-dollar yachts. And a grand architectural design born to challenge all the most basic laws of physics. Seen from above, this is the symbol of the absolute power of money. But, step closer and look a little more carefully. Beneath those perfectly shaped layers of artificial sand, a devastating disaster is silently unfolding. The ocean is coldly swallowing this island every single day. Sensing the danger, the ultra-rich residents have quietly begun to pack up and flee. In closed meeting rooms, the world's top engineers are truly in a state of absolute panic. They are frantically hiding a bitter truth. The government has to burn mountains of money every year, desperately patching up every square meter of land just to prevent this iconic island from being permanently wiped off the world map. So, what terrible thing is really eating away beneath this artificial wonder? And can Dubai's Palm Island manage to survive the next decade? The answer will send shivers down your spine. Experience AI voice technology at vb.vn. Over 2 decades ago, Dubai made one of the most arrogant decisions in the history of modern architecture. A slap right in the face of Mother Nature. They did not go looking for new land to conquer, but instead shaped it with their own hands right in the deep waters of the Persian Gulf. Human history had never witnessed such a wild ambition. Fleets of giant dredging ships worked day and night, sucking up 94 million cubic meters of sand from the ocean floor, combined with 7 million tons of quarried rock, and dumped it all into the sea to force a palm tree-shaped island to rise from nothingness. Do not forget a core truth. This place has absolutely no natural rock layers built up over millions of years. There is no solid geological foundation supporting it underneath. It is all just a crazy dream. A defiance of basic physical laws, realized by the brutal power of mountains of dollars. When Palm Jumeirah officially took shape, it went far beyond the concept of a mega real estate project. It became a brilliant manifesto, a symbol of Dubai's absolute power to the whole world. The global elite, from tech billionaires to Hollywood superstars, looked at this project with extreme admiration and exclaimed, "Only Dubai would dare to think of and do something so impossible like this." And indeed, they were right. For the past 20 years, the Palm Island has perfectly played the role of a real-life miracle. From spectacular satellite images to glossy promotional videos, everything looks so perfect it takes your breath away. The symmetrically curving white sandbanks reaching out to the sea, the tightly packed mega mansions, the most expensive resorts on the planet, all create a flawless, perfect outer shell. Voice generated by vb.vn. But, behind that glamorous and flashy velvet curtain, that perfection is silently bleeding. The magnificence that the whole world still blindly praises every day is actually fragile and full of fatal flaws. The cruel truth is that Mother Nature has a very long memory. And the laws of the ocean never compromise with wealth, no matter how many billions of dollars you throw into the sea. No man-made structure can permanently defeat the endless erosive power of nature without paying a heavy price. Every wave crashing against the breakwater, every high tide cycle is a cold reminder of human limits. Now, the illusion of immortality is slowly cracking. The debt bills from the ocean have started to arrive, and the price to pay for that arrogant slap years ago is only now truly revealing itself on the first foundation cracks deep at the bottom of the sea. Understand a vital principle of geography. Natural islands on Earth can stand tall for millions of years thanks to an endless lifeline of continuous supply. That is the massive amount of silt and sediment constantly deposited from nearby rivers or coastlines. But what about the Palm Jumeirah? It is completely empty and depleted. There isn't a single river feeding it. This magnificent palm tree-shaped structure is completely isolated in the middle of the ocean, permanently cut off from all of the Earth's natural replenishment sources. And the consequence of that forced patchwork is eating away at this island every single day. Every whispering wave crashing onto the shore is not just a soothing sound for the ultra-rich to enjoy from their villa balconies. But in reality, it is a gnawing knife, washing away forever every grain of sand that makes up the project's foundation. At first, Everything happened very slowly, so slowly that people were blinded by the luxury and ignored it. But gradually, residents who have lived here long enough are beginning to feel a chilling truth creeping into their royal lives. Subtle but destructive changes are starting to appear. A few owners of mega mansions are terrified to realize their house foundations are showing signs of slight sinking, a phenomenon engineers call microsettlement, due to the shifting of compressed sand layers. More terrifyingly, the beautiful private beach in front of their houses, where million-dollar parties used to take place, suddenly visibly shrinks after every high tide season. The sand is disappearing, torn away by the currents and dragged down into the dark ocean without any way to get it back. Voice generated by VB.VN. Facing the risk of their proud symbol being swallowed by nature, Dubai cannot just stand by and watch. To maintain the perfection of the palm tree on Google Earth, the government and developers have to throw themselves into a life or death, expensive, and money-soaked battle with the ocean. Every passing day, they have to burn an absurdly massive amount of money just to send fleets of dredging ships out to sea, scrape the ocean floor, suck up sand, and frantically pump it back to make up for the eroding palm fronds. The multi-ton rocks under the breakwater must be continuously scanned and reinforced with surgical precision. According to leaked technical reports, the annual maintenance costs of Palm Jumeirah have now exploded, soaring by more than 40% compared to initial optimistic estimates. Imagine standing in front of the open sea, frantically using your bare hands to drain a raging ocean. That feeling is exactly what the engineers in Dubai are enduring. It is a desperate clinging, an exhausting battle that never has an end, because seawater does not negotiate. Erosion never asks for an extension, and time waits for no empire. Vietnam's top text-to-speech solution from VB.VN. This leads us to a cruel truth that no flashy real estate brochure dares to print. The Palm Island has never been, and will never be, a finished project. It is essentially a permanent maintenance project, an aging artificial machine that must be put on life support, with millions of dollars every day to maintain its own illusory existence. However, that massive cost to patch up the washed-away sand turns out to be just the tip of the iceberg. Nature's erosion is like a mere scratch on the skin when compared to the hidden nightmare waiting to strangle the lives of the people living on the island. A real disaster, more devastating than the ocean itself, is about to knock on the door of every mansion. Are you ready to spend tens of millions of dollars to buy a beachfront mega mansion to enjoy peace and exclusive prestige? Forget that dreamy vision in those advertising flyers. In reality, when you put your pen to sign that expensive contract, you have officially thrown your money to buy yourself a VIP ticket straight into an eternal traffic jam. The initial promise of the real estate elite was a private oasis, completely separated from the hustle and madness of downtown Dubai. But look at the harsh reality happening every day. We are talking about a giant artificial island, carrying on its back tens of thousands of permanent residents, a series of mega hotels always fully booked, a massive service staff, and countless delivery trucks lining up busily. However, all that huge and chaotic volume of movement is ruthlessly crammed into exactly one single road, the trunk of the palm tree, to be able to enter and exit the island. The geometric perfection now turns into a closed trap with no escape route. Each beautiful palm frond, curving on the water, home to the most luxurious rows of mansions, is actually a dead end in the literal sense. There are no detours, no side turns. During peak hours, this island transforms into a true logistical nightmare. People can spend hours stuck in their hopelessly roaring supercars, inching forward centimeter by centimeter in a suffocating atmosphere just to get past a mere 2-kilometer stretch to escape the island. But the overload doesn't just stop on the asphalt. Right beneath that layer of artificial sand, an infrastructure system designed and calculated for the population size of the 2000s is groaning, waiting to crumble. Water pressure drops severely during the times when residents are active all at once. The wastewater and garbage treatment system is struggling to operate at maximum capacity, turning into a ticking time bomb directly threatening the living environment. The electrical grid is constantly stretched by a crazy demand for energy, far exceeding all the expectations of the original design engineers. Voice powered by VB.VN. Imagine this feeling. You paid a sky-high price for exclusivity. But what they actually handed you is a giant amusement park that is always packed with people. Noisy and jammed. Extreme frustration is overwhelming the residents who once considered this a heavenly paradise. Every time a car horn sounds, the glamour is stripped away, eroding the only reason that made them choose to live here. This is the most cruel paradox of artificial architecture. A design that looks peerless and full of art on a satellite map is actually the most fatal weakness in terms of urban logic. Symbolism has killed practicality. And when the entire infrastructure system is pushed to its red limit, when the patience of those who are used to being fully pampered is exhausted, that is also when the ultra-rich begin to realize an extremely bitter truth. Money has the almighty power to cover up almost any flaw in this world, hiding even the greatest mistakes in engineering history. However, that power to cover things up only lasts until the actual bill is sent right into your hands. If you only glance at the surface-level financial reports, the value of ultra-luxury real estate on Palm Jumeirah is still holding at staggering numbers. The beachfront mega mansions still occasionally make headlines for breaking transaction records. But hidden deep beneath that shell of extreme prosperity, veteran analysts are panicking as they see a secret crack, a malignant tumor silently spreading within the market. The mid-tier apartment segment located along the trunk, once a golden goose, fiercely fought over by foreign investors, has now suddenly fallen into a cold freeze. Transactions have unusually stalled. The time on the market drags on for months, and many homeowners even have to swallow their pride and quietly offer desperate incentives just to find a way out. What is the deep root cause behind this silent collapse? It comes down to two bitter words: maintenance fees. This audio is synthesized using AI technology from VB.VN. Don't let the illusion of paper profits fool you. The service charge on the Palm Island is skyrocketing at a speed fast enough to strangle any investment plan. The homeowners themselves are now being forced to carry the entire massive cost of the life or death battle against ocean erosion on their backs. Every block of sand scooped up to replenish the beach. Every rock reinforced under the breakwater. Every water pumping station struggling with overload. All of it is ruthlessly added straight to the residents' annual bills. Facing this swinging financial scythe, the smart money, which is always the most sensitive and ruthless, has begun its escape. The elite are quietly pulling their capital, moving their money to safer havens in newer mega projects like Dubai Harbor or Blue Waters. These are new horizons with clean, modern infrastructure, and most importantly, they do not force buyers to bear the hidden technical risks that threaten their wallets every day. The once proud picture is now falling apart. Palm Jumeirah is truly getting old, and it is aging in an incredibly expensive way. This feeling brings a heartbreaking sense of pity. It is exactly like watching a washed-up movie star desperately pouring mountains of money into painful and risky major plastic surgeries, just to cling to a fading halo from the past. This is the moment the illusion is shattered, making way for a harsh truth that reshapes the mindset of the elite. Artificial real estate built in the middle of the ocean is never a permanent, accumulated asset to pass down as a legacy. Its true nature is a massive liability, a money-sucking black hole with operating costs that multiply exponentially as the concrete and steel begin to age. The wealthy who once had the illusion that they could buy a piece of paradise outright now bitterly realize that they are merely paying rent for a cramped, temporary space in the middle of the ocean. Nature has not forgotten that arrogance. Mother Nature is coldly turning the pages of her debt book. And the scariest part is, the next bill the ocean is preparing to send might not be something that can be paid with money. Create professional voiceovers with VB.VN. Despite carrying countless cruel paradoxes and undeniable hidden cracks, we still have to objectively admit a truth. The Palm Jumeirah is still one of the greatest masterpieces of humanity. It stands tall in the middle of the Persian Gulf as the most brilliant proof of the ability to turn the impossible into reality by human intelligence and ambition. However, here is a twist that you need to remember. This island will definitely not sink. Absolutely not, because Dubai, an empire built on extreme pride and power, will never accept the existence of the word failure in their dictionary. Even if they have to burn tens of billions of dollars more. Even if they have to mobilize the largest dredging fleet in the world to patch it up every day. They will, at all costs, keep this symbol rising gloriously above the water. However, the core lesson that this wonder leaves behind does not lie in the greatness of engineering, but in a profound cautionary truth. You can use a mountain of money to freely redraw the world map. You can use unmatched wealth to temporarily bend even the driest laws of physics. But Mother Nature's rent is something you are forced to pay in full every single day. And that price is becoming brutally more expensive. Text-to-speech platform by VB.VN. The naive era, when humans blindly believed they could use concrete and dollars to completely subdue the power of nature, has officially closed. Now, we are stepping into a much harsher new era, the era of resistance. Where every passing day is a relentless battle to hold on to what has been snatched from the hands of the ocean. So from your perspective, in the context of severe climate change and rising sea levels today, is throwing tens of billions of dollars into these artificial mega projects despite these laws really worth it? Please leave your thoughts right in the comments section below. Goodbye and see you in the next videos.